So you're thinking about moving to Mexico, moving abroad, leaving the U.S., and there are things you're going to have to ask yourself. And these are the same questions that we had to ask ourselves when we decided to move. Things around budget and where do you want to live? What kind of life do you want to live?
Healthcare.
What kind of weather, healthcare, all those types of things. So that's what we're going to go over in the video today. We will catch you guys up after the intro. Welcome to the 7997 podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Chris, and this is my lovely wife, Jackie. And as always, we're just trying to get closer to each other and closer to you guys out there. And this week, in hopes of getting closer to you guys, we want to ask some questions about how you might want to go about moving and thinking about where to go, or why to go, or how to go from the U.S. to someplace else.
You have any other questions you want to throw out there?
When to go, where to go.
The 5 H's or the 5 W's.
Y's, W's, H's, whatever it is. All those things. So if you're thinking about maybe moving to Mexico like we did, or moving to Thailand or Japan or wherever you want to go, there's a big, wide, beautiful planet out there. There's some questions you're going to have to ask yourself about where you want to go and how you want to do it. And I think number one, above all things, as always,
budget. Pocketbook, notebook, checkbook, all of it.
Right. And contrary to popular opinion, you don't have to be rich in order to move someplace else. It does help a whole lot.
Yeah. Always. So
even having money stored up, I think a big part of what we did was like cut spending before we left. So trying to get rid of big budgetary items, paying off debt, getting rid of property, all those kinds of things. You want to make sure that your budget is tight and right and tight and as small as it can be, so when it's time for you to kind of move someplace else,
you're sort of kind of footloose and fancy free.
You're a little bit freer. You're not kind of burdened down by a whole bunch of debt and things like that. We actually handed off our car to my son.
Which mean your son? Our son.
One doesn't preclude the other.
Our child.
He's still mine.
That's so cute.
And one tip I will throw out there is whatever your budget is when you get to your new place, live within maybe 15 to 25% less than that budget.
Preach.
Number one, it gives you some room, some flexibility if something goes wrong. As well as the exchange rate, no matter where you are, is going to fluctuate.
It can fluctuate.
So in Mexico right now, we are back up to the 20 pesos per dollar exchange rate. For a while, it was down to 15,
like 16, 17?
Yeah. It was pretty low for a while. And that has a big impact if you're making money in America and taking it someplace else.
Correct.
If you happen to be in a position where you're making money in that country, obviously you don't got to worry about exchange rate. Your money's going to be what the money is. Inflation will still get you, so 15, 20 for 5%, a little bit less is super helpful. And really, there's really if we talk about here in Mexico, even San Miguel where we are, there's a wide variety of price points. So if you want to spend $3,000 a month, you can spend that. If you want to spend $400 a month, you can spend that. You can upsize, you can downsize, you can be in an apartment in a house, a condo. If you got like that, you can stay in a resort for a little while if you want to do that.
That's true.
Airbnb, golf club, whatever. So you have all those options kind of open to you here in Mexico. If you go overseas into other countries, those options may be different. Obviously, it's going to change for you depending on where you want to go.
But specifically here in Mexico, like I told Godmama the other day, you literally can live how you want to live. How you want to live. Our rent is $800 a month, $850 a month.
Well, $750 now. The exchange rate is good.
Can't do that. In the States. Where are you going to live? You can rent a room. You know what I mean? Maybe you can rent out of someone's basement. But you're not going to have your own dwelling. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, a rooftop view of the city you're living in. You're not going to have that. And we just saw a cute little studio loft apartment that's for rent, fully furnished, for $425. That thing was blazing. So in a beautiful community.
It looks like it would be, in New York and Brooklyn somewhere.
So beautiful. So you literally can live how you want to. They're $5,000 a month properties. They're $500 a month properties.
Yeah.
So you really have flexibility.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And even we've been looking at videos on like Malaysia and Thailand, and you can get like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, detached house with a pool for like $500-$600 a month, which is ridiculous.
Crazy.
So it's a wide world out there outside the U.S., and it may be worth your time to explore some of those options.
And you have to really ask yourself what kind of lifestyle you want to have.
That's what it is. Are you retiring? Are you kind of finishing up your career and deciding you want to move someplace else so your retirement money can stretch? Or you just want to retire in a much nicer place?
Or it's a sabbatical. Because, you know, we know some folks who are on their GI Bill here, going to college. There's a university down the street.
Yep.
You know, so, okay, cool. I can take my GI money. I have a couple dollars in savings, and I'm just going to go to school here. You know what I mean? So maybe it's just a different, you just want to take a break, you know, and just have another experience. I know folks who will go, one sister who's been over like to France because she wanted to go to language class, you know, so she said, I'm going to go to that country and take classes there for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever it was. So it may not be full time, you know what I mean, but it could just be a part time. I'd like to try something different and, you know, spread my wings a little bit, you know, have a different experience.
I mean, it must be wonderful to learn French while eating a croissant and eating a French fry.
What?
Sipping a little champagne.
You know who you are. What? And then a croissant. You got to say it right.
Croissant.
Say it again?
Croissant.
Croissant. All right, because she did say they will cut you, if not with a real knife, but they're going to cut you with their eyes. You got to say it right.
Can I get one of them crescent rolls?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, you got the Pillsbury out the can?
Not the crescent rolls. Oh, you can just hear somebody back. Oh my gosh. So anyway, your lifestyle, what are you doing?
Right. Are you working remotely? Are you able to kind of take your job with you? If you're fortunate enough to do that. Are you a business owner and, you know, you got a business maybe that's sort of land-based business, as it were, that can kind of run by itself and you can kind of be someplace else and just check in, or you have an online business. So really looking at, you know, career-wise, money-wise, how are you generating income? Is it something that you can take with you? Is it portable? If not, how do you generate something that is portable?
Correct.
How do you become a content creator? How do you open up an online shop? How do you do all these other things that you can and kind of like, doesn't matter where you are and where you live.
It's making some kind of passive income.
Passive or
real
active.
Mainstream,
For sure.
Yeah, and I actually spoke to the young lady on the plane last week, and I think she said she was like a massage therapist, something like that. And I told her, you know, I live in Mexico. She's like, when we tell Americans, as an American, that you live somewhere else, they're like, they're so intrigued.
How did you do that?
Do tell. And so I asked her, you know, what she did. I think she was a massage therapist. And I told her, well, you're a blue collar worker, meaning you work with your hands. So you can, you know, you have something you can produce or a service that you can
somebody's
provide.
back anywhere on earth.
Exactly. And that's what I told her. I said, so you're not beholden to a zip code, right? You can take your knowledge, your expertise, and go and supply it to a whole new group of people. And again, doesn't have to be forever. You know, she could hook up with some other folks in her industry, like, hey, you want to go and do a retreat or something, and just come over for 2 weeks, you know, or something like that. So there's just so many opportunities, you know, but that money, and what are you making? You know, because that's the other thing too. Like the perfect world for specifically being in Mexico is to make a high USD and live as how you say it, low, inexpensively, right, on the peso. That's the perfect marriage there. You know.
So once you kind of figure out, and I think this is probably the hardest part to figure out, is once you figure out how to make money and live abroad, then you want to figure out where do you want to live? In a city, on a beach, in a small town, in a suburb? Does it have to feel like an American place? Should it feel like it's culturally unique in their own country that you're in? These are all kind of questions you need to answer And you may not initially have that answer.
Right.
So if you're able to, you may want to spend some time just kind of traveling around. Like, there's plenty of people. I ran into a woman the other day who saw me on the street and like, oh, you on YouTube or something? Like, yeah. And she says, she just goes from town to town for a little while and tries some different places. She'll do like house sitting and stuff like that.
That is major. Nugget drop. House sitting, y'all. Look it up. Go ahead.
And it sounds like a fake thing, but it's a real thing.
It sounds fake, but
people will let you stay in their house so you can take care of their plants and their animals.
Yep. Y'all look it up.
You need to be a, animal person.
Right, exactly.
Be able to take care of some plants. If you go and you kill the plants and the animals, you're probably not going to get invited anywhere else.
Probably get a 0 star.
Yeah, you might have to change careers.
But you bring up a good point. You do want to know what kind of community you want to live in.
Yeah.
And so it may not necessarily be town to town, but like for us, we've lived in a couple of neighborhoods here. So just having an understanding of where you want to live, even within your own city.
Yeah.
And Xavier even challenged us with that. We were looking at going, I say up on top of the mountain. And the two of us were not seeing eye to eye on what neighborhood to go to. And so there are times, and we've done this throughout our marriage, we'll bring the children into our conversations and the challenges that we're having. So we posed the question to them, laid it all out. And Xavier said, well, that neighborhood sounds like one that I guess you wanted to go to. The house was gorgeous. Not about the houses being bad. It was the outdoor amenities, I guess, that really, and the comforts of the neighborhood. But Xavier said, well, one neighborhood sounds more like a cultural experience, sounds more Mexico. And then he goes, but the other neighborhood sounds more like you're back in the States, with a whole shopping center and all that. So it's like you may want to revisit why you moved there in the first place. So it's important.
I think one of those things you realize when you go to another country is that there is a plethora of experiences in that country. So what you may think from the outside is not authentic Mexican or authentic Canadian or Thai or whatever, it's all of those things. The same way you go to the U.S.
right?
and like the way you live in Kansas is a very different way than you live in Chicago, and very different than you live in New Mexico.
And you don't even have to go that far.
Right.
You literally could be in Chicago and go 30, 45 minutes away and you have a farm.
Right.
You hit, you know what I mean? So it's not always about changing an entire situation. Hard left. Right?
So
hard
you think, Mexico, I got to be in, a Mexican style house, and you go to Puebla, like there's big high rises and condos, and it's all modern looking, and it doesn't really look traditionally what you think of Mexico.
Even Querétaro,
for sure.
Hour and 15 minutes. What? Oh my gosh! High rises on top of a mountain is spectacular. It's spectacular. And it's Cheesecake Factory there. When I tell people that, like, y'all got cheesecake
and PF.
You do? Are there cars there? People want to know. You know who you are. So it's like, it's a real place. It's a real city. It's like, it's a thing. We have a Starbucks. No. We have one, but still, we got Starbucks in San Miguel.
You even want to ask yourself, like, what kind of people do you want to live around? We have a friend who was in Guadalajara, and she's sort of semi-retired, and like, she had nobody to hang out with. Everybody else was working. They were all sort of working folks, remote working. So she's like, you know what? In San Miguel, people are like more retired. I can go hang out during the day and we can go brunch. You gotta love brunching. So, the people that you interact with, is you want to be around more
your
locals?
Social network.
Do you want to be around the expats and be only around your own people that you kind of know in your culture? So think about that as well, of like, how do you figure out who do you want to be around? And there's value in being around, I think, all people. So don't discount being in a local neighborhood versus an expat neighborhood. And the people that you interact with are the people that you go out and you find. So even if you're living in a place where maybe it's not a whole lot of expats, there's plenty of places to find somebody from someplace else. They just live all over the place.
Everybody gonna find a friend.
There's
always gonna be one, at least one good friend.
One thing I will say is big is how important is access to healthcare for you. If you're young, 20-something, relatively healthy, like you don't really care that the healthcare system is good or bad. As long as it's great when you have an emergency, it's fine. You don't need your cholesterol pills and your blood pressure pills. You got to go get your MRI every once in a while, and when you get older, all these other things just start compounding, and you've got to be in contact with healthcare more often. Right,
and it needs that's the last thing they would think about. Anybody who obviously was young and healthy, last thing they think about is how's the healthcare down there.
Right,
could care less.
The healthcare here in Mexico is comparable to what you find in the U.S., but less expensive for sure.
Yep.
But different as well. Like it's a different infrastructure. Like you don't need prescriptions for a lot of things. If you want a doctor to come to your house, they'll come to your house.
House visits.
Surgeries are a lot less expensive. Like it's a lot easier to get access to healthcare than it is in the United States. You don't have to have health insurance in order to get healthcare, unless it's something like really big and major. You need a big surgery, then you're probably going to need something to kind of help you out, because it can be a pretty big cost still, even though it's cheaper than the U.S.
Correct.
So think about, if you have very special needs. I'm a kidney transplant patient, so I have a very particular need that I have. I need to be someplace with very good kidney care, and it's not always available everywhere. I have a very good doctor that I'm happy with so far, who's been taking care of me, so I'm happy with that. But if at some point in the future my kidney, gives out again and I need a transplant, they're not really prepared for transplants like that here, so I need to go someplace else. So something to think about. If you have, heart conditions or transplantation or anything that's really complicated medically, make sure you're in a place where there's really a good medical infrastructure that can take care of you if you need to be taken care of in that way.
And also consider your own needs. So we've said it before, I'm going to say it again. San Miguel on foot is no joke. Is mountainous, so you have to be mindful. If you have bad knees, if you have a bad back or a bad heart, think about, you have to make sure you understand your community and the environment you're going to, because the high elevation and the cobblestones.
Yeah.
Oh, the cobblestones.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I did not miss that. On last episode, we talked about what we missed and what I didn't miss about going back home.
Oh, you didn't miss the cobblestones?
I did not. And I repeat, not miss the cobble.
Okay, that's interesting.
And we can move on.
Yeah.
But catch that last episode.
Yeah. And if you're thinking about coming to Mexico, you need to learn how to speak Spanish. Do you need to be fluent? Very much depends on where you are.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
In San Miguel here, you don't need to be fluent. But the more Spanish you know, the better your life will be. Yeah. Guaranteed. You can come down and know absolutely nothing. You're going to need to pick up something. It's going to benefit you in the long run.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're going to, places where there aren't a whole lot of expats, you're going to need to be a bit more fluid.
That's correct.
Or at least make sure you're always connected to Wi-Fi so you can do some Google Translate.
Google Translate.
Granted, that's not always perfect either.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. There's plenty of places where if you come down, you can learn. There's plenty of classes. There's free classes at the library. There's paid classes. There's full immersion. There's accelerated programs. So however quickly or slowly you want to learn it, you can learn it.
Expats get together.
Yeah,
You'll see something on Facebook. They're like, hey, we're getting together, at a cafe or whatever. And 10, 15 people, whatever, and they just want to have, some Spanish time.
Yeah, and if you want to take 10 years to learn Spanish, Duolingo is always available.
Don't mess with the owl.
I mean, Duolingo is nice, but Duolingo is set up to keep you subscribed.
Okay.
Which means it's going to take you longer to learn Spanish.
Maybe that's why I've been doing it for 299
That's why you're still on
years.
Comastas. So really, like, looking at how immersed do you want to be in Mexican culture? Again, culture is different in different places. The closer you are to the border, the more the Mexican culture mixes with American culture. So you get more Tex-Mex, more of a lifestyle in, your Tijuanas, your Monterreys, Laredos. Those places are along the border. As you get more into the central, there's a whole culture there that's kind of separate from everything else. As you get closer to the coastline, like the Yucatan, or even on the other side of Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, all that kind of stuff, there's slightly different culture there. Like we were in La Paz for a little while. You could really see the, effect of American culture in La Paz a little bit, just because like there's a lot of medical tourism. It's connected directly to California, so you can drive right down. So there's a bigger influence of American culture in Baja California and California Sur. So really, it kind of depends on, you know, what type of Mexican culture you're talking about, because it's not one thing. It's not a monolith by any means. And if you don't want to be immersed in Mexican culture, you probably should not be here. I mean, that's just what it is.
It's a thing.
Now, there are
some people who will come and won't.
Right, there are people that'll come here and they stay to themselves. They're in their own little circle of people.
That's it. Won't learn the language.
Nope.
And that's that. Because I mean, I've even had Uber drivers or, you know, folks, and they're like, "Oh, your Spanish is so good," and like, "Oh, thank you." It's like, I've met some, they call us gringos here. I've met gringos who've been here 10, 20, 30 years, and they still won't learn.
Can't speak a lick of nothing.
Still won't learn. So you can have that existence, but it's very isolating. The more you learn, the more you're included in, and you're able to experience the culture.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I say learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
You know.
So those are the 6 questions that we did not count at all as we were going along, and we have totally failed you if you were looking to just, you know, do a countdown with us.
Yeah.
But all the answers are there. I'll put numbers up on the screen in post. It'll just 1. It'll be
but with the climate.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. The what?
11, 12.
I mean, we talked about climate a little bit. You know,
Okay.
when you want to be in the beach, you want to be, you know, Mexico has almost everything you want. There isn't really like a really extreme cold very much. You will get some snow in some places.
There's seasonalities for sure for some places.
But you got your beaches, you got your mountains, you got desert, everything in between. Like we're in a high mountain desert. So it's kind of 2 things. It's mountains and desert at the same time.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous for sure. But literally, you know, whatever type of weather you like, you can probably find something that'll be in your range within Mexico. If you like super duper hot all the time, then, you know, Cabo, Merida, Cancun. Have fun with it.
When it was 100 degrees here, it was 120 there.
Yeah, it was crazy.
No, thank you.
No,
No, thank you.
Yeah.
But our list was just 6. We just put the 6 up.
Yeah.
But of course, there are other things to think about, because if you have a family, right, you want to think about school, and we have friends here who have children. So you may want to ask questions about schooling, right? If you are going to bring your car, you may have other questions and things to consider based off of your special needs. So, you know, there's Google search and there's YouTube University. You have us. You can always schedule a consult. We'll be more than happy. One of us is probably me, because you still really have a traditional 9 to 5.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean,
you have to say it like that.
I mean, but
I'm okay with my job. I like my job.
Good.
Not, you know.
And plus, I'm more the phone person anyway, so you catch me. But so yeah, if there are other things that you guys wanted to talk about, just go ahead and go to our website. Can I tell them about it?
Yes.
7997.life.
Not .com, not .net, not .org.
Life.
7997, the numbers.
The numbers, yes.
And you can schedule your consultation there.
Catch up on information we have.
Yeah, if there's some episodes you missed, we have like all of our episodes that we have on YouTube in sort of article form there. So maybe you like to read it instead of watching it.
Oh, and some beautiful pictures you've taken.
Pictures as well.
Oh,
I'm taking
my
a lot of
gosh.
pictures lately. So
The brother's good behind the camera, y'all.
I'm trying to figure it out. But as always, the merch is here for you guys. If you interested
Y'all like
in that, give us some feedback. You know, you like the merch. If you don't, what did you want to see from some merch? If you want to buy something, any type of objects, particular products you want to see, be great to know that. Like, comment, subscribe, buy a coffee.
And thank you for all you all have done. Comments, you're engaging, compliments, critiques. We appreciate you. We really do.
Become a member, a 7997er. Hit the join button. There's so much stuff for y'all to do. So if you want to support, there's plenty of ways for you to support.
Yeah, buy us a coffee.
The best way you can support is just to watch.
Yeah.
And to share it with some other folks.
Please and thank
for sure.
you.
You don't have to bring a dime out of your pocket if you don't want to.
That's so true.
So on that note, we will see you guys next week.
Cuídate.
Area Scarsfade.
You were waiting on me.
I was.
I got
Take care and take a chance. Peace, y'all. This is the 7997 Podcast, your home for raw and honest conversation, featuring Chris and Jackie, with new episodes every Sunday, wherever you get your podcasts.